Hey friends, welcome to the channel. My name is John Michael Perez and I help agents sell more houses by cultivating authentic relationships at scale and using modern strategies. So if that's for you, you are in the right place. Slam your thumb on that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Let's go ahead and get started. So it is about 7 a.m. in the morning, just dropped off my son at school. He absolutely does not like it because he's just getting back from Christmas break. But today we're going to be talking about why 90% of real estate agents fail, how you can avoid the temptations and problems that most agents receive when getting into the business. And I'm just pulling up to the coffee shop. But number one, why are real estate agents failing? I have been blessed to interview tons of agents, and what I realized is that I asked this one important question, and that question is, how much percentage of your day are you using to lead generate? And it's very surprising to hear, but a majority of those agents said over 90% of their time is actually used to lead generate. So what we found is that if most agents at the very beginning of their day spend intentional time, at least 2 hours of their day on lead generating, at least 2 hours. Now that's not even 90% of your time, but if you spend intentional, focused, no distraction time on lead generating, then you will have a much higher likelihood of success. And so what does lead generating look like for the top producers? That's a great question. Every agent has a different way of lead generating. However, what we've realized and we've come to the conclusion is that most of these top producers have a specialized skill and they are not spread thin in multiple ways of lead generating. So what does that mean? They are not doing Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and cold calling and door knocking, right? They are probably picking two things and specializing in those. This is why so many agents, they get burnt out because they're not getting success fast enough. They feel like they never can get that next lead because they're getting results on Facebook and then they want results on TikTok and then they want results on Instagram. Their time is spread thin. They're not getting good results. So you have to specialize. You have to spend intentional time on lead generating, especially at the very beginning of the day. And so this is why I think that most agents are failing. So let me say this, most real estate agents aren't failing because they're lazy. They're failing because they're busy, but they're not actually building anything. So I want to walk through the real reasons this happens. And if any of these hit a nerve, good, because you're probably paying attention. First, agents confuse activity with progress. They're busy all day with showings, emails, texts, DMs, but nothing actually compounds. They don't use leverage, no CRM, no one editing their videos except for themselves, no AI helping them with ideas or follow-up or systems. They do everything themselves, which might seem impressive, but it actually keeps you small. So next, they chase leads instead of building demand. Chasing the next deal necessarily isn't a bad thing, but if you don't have a strategy to funnel referrals and inbound leads, you're gonna be stuck on a hamster wheel. You're always moving, but you're never going anywhere. Then there's the lack of repeatable systems. So everything depends on motivation for them, or their mood, or how urgent they are. Motivation eventually breaks, and your business only works when you feel like it. You don't have a business, so you're basically gambling. Another big one is relying on one income stream. I did this at the very beginning of my business. The market really is dependent on your one income stream. So you gotta get good at creative financing, flips, or building a team. And if one stream dies up, then you're still alive, right? Next, agents don't follow up long enough. And this one frustrates me because I hate sending referrals to agents who quit after 2 or 3 reach outs. That's not necessarily good follow-up, it's just checking a box. This is why a CRM is super important. You could send a selfie video or send a meme. Yes, it actually works. Follow up at least twice a week for several months and that will work. Another reason is consuming too much content and not creating content, right? So they consume podcasts, trainings, reels, and very little implementation. I deleted TikTok because I realized I was consuming more than I was creating. And we are made in the image of the ultimate creator, yet we do not create, right? So content is legitimately the best leverage you can have. You put your face in front of multiple people and you can still sleep at night while people are watching your videos, right? I saw a post that said, If your page doesn't look like you sell houses every day, why would anyone use you? It's that simple. Post like it's your job, because it is. Next, agents avoid uncomfortable conversations. I'm guilty of this at the beginning of my career. Pricing, objections, follow-up. I personally used to avoid telling clients to make cosmetic updates because I feel like it would offend them, but you are the expert. Act like it. Then there's treating content like a hobby, which is sort of like that meme I was just talking about. Inconsistent posting, no strategy, no patience. Actually, most people need 3 to 4 months of seeing your face before they start trusting you, right? But most agents, they quit after 4 weeks. Then there's no planning, no reflection, or no optimization. Your brain does not chase vague. One thing that I do is I spend 1 hour every week on Sundays. It helps me review what worked and helps me plan for the following week, because direction creates momentum. And finally, the agents that don't win, they're afraid of committing before they see results. And this business is not hourly pay, it's delayed gratification. I waited 5 months for my first paycheck, and that mindset shift breaks most people. You commit to the actions first and eliminate distractions and trust the process, and it will always work out. So if this hits good, because I know this is the clarity that I would have needed several years back. So you need to commit before you start seeing results, and you will eventually see results. This business isn't hourly pay, like I said, delayed gratification. I waited 5 months before I got my first paycheck. I remember my dad not being able to comprehend that because 70 years of his life, he worked hourly. He was like, what? It takes you several months to get paid? That doesn't make sense. So be consistent. You got this. Slam the like button with that thumb and subscribe if you haven't already. Hope to see you on the next video.